Welcome to DevOps Summit 2022. This is creating the next generation of DevOps talent, and this is brought to you by Strategio. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Nicole Hargrove. You can call me Cole. I've been in IT for about 25 years. I spent 21 years at IBM. I started off as a developer for about 3 to 4 years in IBM's consulting services. And then I moved into the sales organization, working as a sales engineer, where I learned about different technologies. Yes, I saw the evolution of us going from e-business and e-commerce through application development tools, going from application servers into middleware, service-oriented architecture, into integration with APIs and microservices. Well, services to microservices. I've seen the evolution of these things, going from servers to virtual machines into instances on clouds. Yes, I've experienced a lot of those things. So that tells you all about the things that I've learned for 25 years. Within that time period of IBM, I took all of the technical knowledge that I learned and the business acumen that I learned through different industry knowledge with our healthcare, life sciences, and financial services, retail, and state and federal, state, and local government industries. And I became a client IT architect where I got to work with the C-suite to help position and create solutions that would help these organizations move into digital transformation with those technologies that I mentioned. And after spending 21 years there, I moved to Salesforce, where I became a principal IT architect and did a lot of the same things that I did as my client IT architect role. And then I wanted to transition my career. Wow, 2020 did a lot for everyone, right? I wanted to move from the architect type role and sales engineering into teaching and content creation. So I spent 6 months at a boot camp. After that boot camp, towards the end of that boot camp, I met the CEO and founder of Strategio, Connor Dellenbank. And the rest is history. I've been at Strategio as the enterprise simulator leader for the last 14 months, and it has been an awesome journey to be able to craft the 8-week training that what we call technologists, this next generation of DevOps technologists, go through. And so I'm just excited to be here to talk about that subject a little bit more. When we think about DevOps, it's a software development model that impacts culture, practices, and tools for software development within an organization. DevOps is the perfect vehicle to use to help promote digital transformation in an organization. I'm going to spend about the next 30 minutes speaking about the necessary ingredients for creating this next generation of DevOps talents to help drive transformation, digital transformation, and increase the business value to an organization's customers and clients. Part of the ingredients of the next generation of DevOps talent starts with the leadership. You know, a farmer needs to cultivate the right environment before planting the seeds to reap a harvest. Organizations will need to evaluate their existing culture. This means starting with leadership. So as leaders, we have to be, in order for the next generation of DevOps talent to thrive, you got these people who are coming in, they're excited about being a part of the organization. And we have to have an environment where we are accepting at the leadership level transformation. We have to believe in and promote that throughout the organization, this digital transformation. I have spent countless times with clients who have, at the leadership level, at the C-suite level, have told me that I'm either going to retirement within 3 to 5 years, and if it isn't broke, don't fix it kind of mentality. We want to get away from that and have leaders that believe in transformation. We also want to have leaders who reflect the culture and the values of the organization. When we have leaders who believe in the mission of that organization, and when you're dealing with the values of that organization, when you're interacting with that leader, you know what to expect, whether it's internally or externally. So we want leaders who who reflect that. We also want leaders who have a growth mindset. I know. Back in the day when you had made a mistake, or when you were told that if you don't know something, don't ask a whole bunch of questions. You got to figure it out on your own. That's not the environment we want this next generation to thrive in. They're going to come with a growth mindset. They're going to want to ask questions, and we don't want to penalize them for that, because we want to create a culture and an environment where they will be able to suggest changes, which will get us to innovation. We want to break down these silos that are in organizations. And we want to move from a siloed environment, coordinating tasks on a need-to-know basis, into collaboration among flexible and interconnected teams, right? So we want to be able to create this environment that will foster a place for this next generation of DevOps talent. We also want to have an environment that is welcoming to diversity. And I'm not just talking about diversity based off of ethnicity and race. I'm talking about diversity from, we have to open up the lane for individuals who not only have a traditional background, who have gone to university as well as college and majored in computer science. But I did not major in computer science. And I just told you, I had a thriving career at IBM for 21 years. I double majored in accounting and information systems. I actually went to school for accounting. It was because I got exposed to having to do a development program, a development class, that I got so intrigued and so passionate about it, I had to double major in it. Now, just think of a big corporation like IBM. If they would have saw that only she did computer science, we can't use her, they would have missed out on this. Not to toot my own horn, but what I'm trying to get you to understand, as leadership, we have got to get it to a place where we accept diversity. And that is inclusive of those who have a non-traditional background, those who have gone to boot camps, and those who have been self-taught. These individuals are a talent pool that is untapped. That if we have leadership that is in place that can make a commitment to be mentors and coaches to these individuals, they will be able to empower them to get them from entry level into the next leadership team that you may have at your organization. So it starts with the leadership. Let's talk about this next generation of talent. Will need to be able to make this what we call the WHW connection. No, this is not yet another text shortcut like LOL. WHW stands for the why, the how, and the what. So the why, we know that. Let's talk about the what. A lot of technologists or people who come into technology, they know how to do things. I spend time interviewing, doing technical interviews with these technologists before we allow them to come into the program at Strategio. And a lot of them can tell me some of the things that they've done, but what they cannot tell me and what they have not made is the connection before into why does this technology exist? Why and how are people using it? They can tell me about, maybe they can tell me about some of the tools, but a lot of times all they can do is talk about the tasks. And so what Strategio has done, and when we think about the next generation of DevOps talent, we are shifting left the enterprise skill set. And so we want individuals who can understand not only what the task is, we want them to understand this concept. We want them to understand that, yes, these are new cool technologies. And when you go to some corporations, because of the fact they are in digital transformation, you'll see that they adopt how they adopt these technologies, right? And then we want them to understand use cases. Let me make this concrete for you. So if we think about the concept of infrastructure as code, IAC, the concept behind this is about automating IT infrastructure provisioning and management by codifying it as software, right? That is the concept of what infrastructure as code is. This approach, the purpose of this approach is to empower developers to define and automatically deploy the necessary infrastructure components to support applications as they build them. And what this does is it increases the agility of creating software and services. So that is the why and the how. Some tools that you made, let's dig a little deeper into the how. Some tools that our technologists get exposed to are Ansible and Terraform. So we all know from, like I said, 25 years in IT, what would happen is developers would be waiting around for the infrastructure to be put in place. They would not be able to code anything until that infrastructure was put in place. So that meant you had idle time for them. That's time that could have been used for them to code whatever needed to be coded for that particular application, with the end result of bringing in business value to the end user and competitive advantage for the business. And so with infrastructure as a code, let's take Terraform as one of the tools. This is the how. And let's talk about a few use cases, right? So being able to have digital transformation across the enterprise means just think about customer support being transformed. Customer support could have disposable environments where they could recreate problems that clients call in about, and then they could go through and troubleshoot quicker and resolve problems faster so that the products can meet the needs for the clients. That's just one aspect of having a use case for infrastructure as code. Do you see where I'm going with a technologist who's able to talk about not only having this hands-on experience, but being able to solve business problems? That means you need to understand the concepts and you need to understand the purpose of this technology and use cases for this particular technology. So in the program at Strategio, technologists have hands-on tasks where they're creating cloud deployment environments. That means they are using infrastructure as code, using Terraform to write code that will deploy and stand up cloud and AWS cloud environments. So take this next generation of talent. You can't just focus in on the tasks and the hands-on portion. You have got to have them understand what we call the WHW connection. So now let's talk about a little bit further into skills that the technologists will need. The next generation of DevOps talent will need a broad range of methodologies. They need to learn a broad range of methodologies, practices, tools, and technologies that will help them leap forward into their tech career. So when these technologists when this talent comes to Strategio, what we're trying to do with them is to shift left these enterprise skills, meaning there's a gap between what you may learn at a boot camp, what you've been self-taught, and what you have gotten out of university. We create an environment which we simulate an enterprise. We are not only giving them the tech skills into DevOps, having them understand what DevOps, the importance of the implementation of DevOps. We are teaching them skills, foundational skills that they need to learn. That includes Linux, data structures and algorithms, learning programming with Java and Python, version control with GitHub and some GitLab, build automation. Now, do you see in here, this is all about concepts, right? We also then take that back through the WHW so that they can make those connections, right? Okay, so not only will these skills need to be technical skills, but as a technologist, this model is often thought of as the T-shaped technologist. And what that means is having a broad exposure allows of these different technical skills allows for technologists to specialize in various roles. And these roles can be cloud and DevOps roles, site reliability and engineering roles, software development, engineer and test roles, as well as full stack development roles. We believe the next generation of DevOps talent will be well-rounded technology agnostic problem solvers. And not only will they know the tech, they will also have business skills. I can remember when I first started in technology, I had a manager pull me to the side and said, Cole, you are like one of the smartest people on the team. You got this technical side down, but I need you to work on your communication skills. And I want you to be able to collaborate with others. I need you to work on those business skills. And we even take it to the point of showing them how to create meetings, how to use their calendars effectively. And, this generation, we're teaching them even how to, since we work from home or, a couple of days on site, some days working from home, to be a part of the organization, you need your camera on. Okay. So we even teach those kind of skills as well. We also talk to them about being able to have communication skills. Communication skills means you have to work, you're going to be working across multiple teams. So you need to be able to articulate what kind of help you need. You need to be able to articulate when you find a problem in the code. You have to be able to break that down into how do I go about fixing it? And who do I need to engage with to help me along in that process? Okay. Remember, we talked about leadership has to be open to setting the environment for them to be able to ask questions and to fail fast. Another part of these business skills include being able to write blogs and do videos, right? So that's just another form of communication. It's in the written form and it's in the visual form. We have to deal with the confidence level of these individuals. So we talk to them about imposter syndrome. We spend time with them getting ready for behavioral and technical interview prep. So this next generation as I said previously, will be well-rounded, technology agnostic problem solvers. Another characteristic of this next generation is that they will foster community. This generation is coming into an organization to affect change. This next generation of technologists, they will go from being entry level into using the coaching and the mentoring that I spoke about earlier from the leadership into the next generation of leaders at your organization. So they will be able to do, like I spoke about, these tech blogs. So imagine being able to have this tech talent, and you have several of these technologists who are writing blogs, technology blogs, talking about and doing and showing with videos on how to do certain things with technology. Yes, that is something that the next generation of technologists will do. They will become your speakers at industry leading events. It won't be me speaking. It'll be one of the next generation of technologists who will speak about how they came into technology, how they're treated at the organization, how they reflect the culture and the values of this organization. See, like I said, it starts with the leadership and it goes down to those that are under the purview of that leader. They will be your patent creators. You know, one of the big things about an organization is competitive advantage. And being able to have patents on newer technology that moves the needle at your organization and gives you and have that competitive advantage, this next generation of technologists will do that. They will be the people at hackathons. They will be the next generation of mentors. And they will be champions for technology and diversity within and external to the organization. They will be leaders of affinity groups within the organization. They will take on causes that are that will represent diversity. For example, when I first started working in technology at IBM, I loved to volunteer to be able to share with the next generation on technology and how to get into the field, because representation is important. And so I loved volunteering, whether it was reading to kindergartners so that they would take an interest in reading and comprehension and logic, whether it was working with middle school aged girls to help them understand that someone like you that looks like you is working in this field, and to teach them about Python, to teach them about design thinking. This is in middle school. This next generation of technologists will be champions for diversity for your organization. They will also get certifications. You want to have within your organization a group of people who will take the time to get certified and show that this is about that continuous learning and that growth mindset to continue to expand upon their skills. They will become certified, not only in the technology, but maybe they'll get certified in their profession with the open group, whether they're architects or specialists in a particular technology, a particular profession. But it's all about fostering community. See, at Strategio, we have these technologists who are in different regions in the United States, and they are the ones who are leading the community events. One of those community events are about getting together in a environment of going bowling is something that they did. That's to show and gel as a team. Karaoke. those kinds of things. That fosters community and team. When you don't have live events, you can do virtual events where you can have lunch and learns, where you can have online happy hour where y'all are just doing Pictionary or doing, online Pictionary and using a Kahoot game to learn about trivia. So fostering community is important. The other portion to that as well is within Strategio, we use Slack as one of our mechanisms to foster community. See, within your organization, you're going to have, let's take, for example, Slack. They use something called channels, and these channels allow for groups in that channel to talk about a specific topic. We have channels for knowledge sharing. We have channels that talk about your cultural events that may be happening. See, diversity has to be something that's intentional. And that's a part of transformation as well. So being able to have this next generation move into these different ways of fostering community is important. So I want to summarize all these things. We talked a lot about this, what the next generation needs to be equipped with for this talent. I want you to remember that it does start with the leadership. We have to reflect what we want those outcomes to be. We have to buy into digital transformation, and we have to create an environment that will foster that environment that will allow for them to thrive. We have to want them to be, we have to be innovative so that when they come with ideas that with change, that we won't shoot them down, but we will embrace them and try to implement those ideas. We have to have them understand make the connection between the WHW, the why, the how, and the what. They need to be able to understand, not only have hands-on experience, but also understand the concepts behind what they're learning. That's the why. And then being able to understand how these technologies and concepts get adopted and understand the purpose of these concepts at organizations. They will be equipped with cross-functional skills. So they come in and they're able to work in these different roles that I mentioned. And as they get this broad learning, at some point they'll be tapped to learn into these different, they will dive deeper into maybe one specific role, or they will be at this broad level. So they get that T-shaped, right? So not only are they learning in a broad sense, but they also can go deep in different type of technologies. And then lastly, they will foster community. They will foster community. They will be the next generation who will be the next leaders at a corporation. So if you want to learn more about how Strategio is creating the next generation of DevOps talent, I have our CEO here, Connor Dellenbank, CEO and founder of Strategio. Please, please, please check out our website and get in contact with us so that we can partner with you to be able to talk more about how you can have this next generation of a DevOps talent in your organization. They're going to be diverse. And that is so exciting for us, whether they're diverse in ethnicity as well as in education. Because whether they went to a college or university, whether they were self-taught or they went to a boot camp, this talent, this next generation of talent belongs in this IT industry. Thank you so much for taking the time today to listen to this presentation.